Okay, it says I am live. My name is Bill Edgett, and I live in Grand Bay, Westfield, New Brunswick. The documentary I'm making about parental alienation in the family court system, and also the legal actions that I have against a number of different entities, both civil and in the family courts. So there are quite a few different things going on, and it's challenging at times to keep everything in order and keep moving forward and not lose focus of what needs to be done. But what keeps me focused and moving on is this whole process started for me almost 6 years ago now, and since then I've lost custody of my children. It took three separate investigations by Child Protection, St. John Police Department, and the RCMP prior to me losing custody of my children on false allegations. I lost them for an entire summer. Not only that, the judge thought it would be a good idea for my ex um, wife to have some communications with my current girlfriend at the time. I was fortunate enough to have been with this girl for some time who was a very kind, generous person who my children loved. Um, but when she started getting calls and harassed by my ex and her boyfriend, Bill Clark, I had to apply for a restraining order under the Intimate Partner Violence Act in New Brunswick, and it was granted. Um, but the damage had already been done. She was traumatized by this event, getting dragged into court orders and uh, uh, restraining orders or recognizance. And it was quite troubling for her, especially after seeing everything that had happened to me and throughout the process. So that took its toll on the relationship, which is very sad because she was a very nice woman, very caring, very kind, and the children recognized that, and they thought a lot of her. So that was uh, that was kind of sad, but I really can't blame her for what she was having to go through because she was very supportive of me and the children, and this was the judge basically allowed her to be attacked by my ex and her boyfriend, who were calling and messaging her and harassing her, which again is why I got a restraining order brought against her under the IPV Act. So prior to all that happening, the first set of allegations against me, if anyone doesn't know me, my name is Bill Edgett, and I started New Brunswick Parental Alienation Support Group after I was an admin of the New Brunswick Worldwide Support Group. Since then, I have rejoined with Keith Marsalek, and he helps me run this page. I help him run his pages, and we are trying to grow our community. Um, I'm currently in the process of trying to get this documentary made. I started over a year ago, but so did COVID. So it has made it difficult for me to meet with all the people who would like to take part uh, and share their stories and their court files and what has happened in their cases. I have a number of people that um, I've been in contact. They've sent me their files. I do have some online interviews with some of them. I'd like to do some more in person, and then I need to put all this information together. Um, it's going to take time, but hopefully, if we get things lifted here, I could get the project completed by this summer. And there's going to be more projects to come because the information I have keeps growing. More people keep contacting me and providing me information about what's going on in their situation. Um, so I'm keeping track of it. I've got more than enough information for the documentary I'm making right now about parental alienation and family court system, and I'm hoping to show people what they can expect when they start down this process. So instead of being shocked and traumatized by what is actually happening, you're prepared for what is happening, and me and other people that have gone through the process already will hopefully be able to give you some support and information to help you and your family, your children, to recover and move through this process and have a normal life. Um, it's not easy to do. It's a very long road, and you need help doing it. You can't you can't do it alone. I didn't do this on my own. I was fortunate enough that I found two very big names in the parental alienation world, David Schubert and Keith Marsalek, and they recognized my traumatized rantings on different pages and took the time to message me and offer me a little bit of advice and encouragement. And neither these were two strangers who didn't know me, and they were kind enough to recognize what I was going through, that they had been through. And Mr. Marsalek basically summed it up in one conversation we had. He said, "You and I are on the same road, just at different points in time." And at that time, I couldn't even imagine being calm, cool, and collected in the state he was because I was so traumatized. I couldn't imagine being able to function normally again because when you're traumatized, you have no focus. It's hard to accomplish anything, and it is very difficult to move forward in your situation. And one of the first things you have to do is take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family and your children and do what is needed to move on and progress and help with your situation. So one of the first lawsuits I filed one against the province of New Brunswick and against the Crown prosecutor Kelly Winchester for malicious prosecution. I believe there might have been a second charge in there. Either way, that one was dismissed at the provincial level. I could have appealed because there was a similar case in Ontario where a person had made an application to file a lawsuit against the Crown prosecutor for their malicious prosecution of their case. The provincial court denied the motion. The Supreme Court granted it. And he went forward and successfully won his case against the Crown prosecutor for malicious prosecution. Um, Again, I didn't appeal mine, but that Crown prosecutor was on to a provincial court judge at this time, so she was not directly interfering with me or in my case. Although I do believe there is some interference coming in there from somewhere because of all the other things that are going on. One of them of which is I currently have a lawsuit filed against the St. John Police Department, which I filed myself starting in 2018. Also in 2018, I was speaking to a number of lawyers and settled on one lawyer who I paid a retainer up to a certain process in action. And I messaged him the other day just calling to get an update since it is now basically 3 years after he's been the attorney of record. So hopefully I'll have some more updates for that, and I hope to do more of these sessions and provide people with more information. Um, I want to start putting up a green screen behind me so I can put up all the different links to all the people and the files that I'm talking about so people can see them as I talk about them. Sorry, there's a lot of flies around here today. It's pretty crazy outside. It's almost like a scene from The Birds, Richard Hitchcock. Flies, they're so bad. Anyway, yes, I hope to start taking more time, presenting more evidence. And like I said, because of the COVID, it's been very difficult for me. I hope to have the documentary completed by this time, but I have not had the chance to interview each person individually, and I'd like to do that personally instead of doing it online. And once I'm able to complete that, I'll have all the information I need to put the whole documentary together. I've been collecting information to do this for years, and over the past couple of years, there's still ongoing litigation, and I am looking at starting more actions. Um, One, in the hopes of changing how these cases are handled by police and RCMP and the courts and the Crown and the judges, everyone involved, especially with the new Divorce Act that came into effect, Bill C-78, on March 1st of 2021, that recognizes coercive controlling behaviors. Um, this is a good step forward in trying to recognize these behaviors and deal with them, so they do not allow cases to extend on for years and years, like my case, for example, which started in 2000. Oh, I can't even remember the dates now. It's now 2021. It's 2015. Yes, 2015 was when my case started. So we're in 2021 now. It's almost 6 years, and not much has happened. So I've been in contact with another lawyer, um, today to inquire about other cases, and it was very positive. He's very interested in taking on this case, which is good because, like I said, my everything began for me back in 2015, and I've gone through a number of lawyers. A number of lawyers just don't want to deal with this because the Crown prosecutor, who obstructed justice and took me to trial and kept a witness from testifying, is now a provincial court judge. So my cases have been not going through the regular process when I file them. Once they file, they're supposed to go to, I forget her name. I received an email from a lawyer named Casey that is representing the province of New Brunswick in my lawsuit against the province of New Brunswick, the child protection system, the attorney general, and the minister of social development, who is responsible for the child protection agency. Um, I've believe I've provided more than enough evidence to the child protection agency, yet they acknowledge they don't have anyone qualified to recognize children are suffering from psychological or emotional abuse. So they refer cases like that out to professionals. And I am still wondering why this case has not been referred out to a professional yet. I plan on hiring a professional. A friend of mine currently has Dr. Stephen Miller on retainer and Dr. Jennifer Jill Harmon out of Colorado. If I have to, I'll mortgage my house, which is I currently do not have a mortgage on, but this is what I will need to do to get professionals in there to get proper assessments done so that I can get my children the help they need, because child protection services in New Brunswick aren't doing it. So I've filed a lawsuit against them. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here tonight, and hopefully I'll have more updates soon. I plan on filing a lawsuit against the RCMP for their actions and me losing my children the other summer, um, for their negligence, for their complicity in helping to keep my children from me. Just the whole bit. Severely interfered with my ability to parent when I had a legal court order in my hand, and they just ignored it. So there's lots of things I need to do, and I also have to go back and start making new applications under the new Family Divorce Act to address the situations that have been going on in my case. So I've been preparing. It's been very hard, but I'm starting to return to normal. I'm back doing jujitsu class and helping to teach. I used to do this many years ago. It's been quite a while since I've done it, and I'm a little older and rounder now, so it's don't quite have the conditioning I used to, but I'm just starting to feel better again and get through this. So I am getting better. I am getting stronger, and I'm feeling better every day. I still live with the fear every day of losing my children at any time because of some story my ex makes up, because it's happened repeatedly. I faced criminal charges. I faced a charge for 10 years of jail time. I faced another charge with 2 years of jail time. I went to trial. I lost my children at a trial because she made a phone call, told an RCMP officer a story. The RCMP officer shows up at my home, which I have a 20-minute video of that interaction. And instead of taking a report from me, he went back to the police station and passed on the story that he was told to by my ex, which triggered investigation, which caused me to lose my children by the end of that week. That was Monday evening. Friday afternoon, I lost my children. Until investigations were conducted by Child Protection with the RCMP. They were both included in the investigation, and the determination of both people who investigated this case after interviewing my children was the allegations were not true. And still, the judge, even though he chose to err on the side of caution by granting my ex sole custody, even when he had the reports from the police and the RCMP, he still not returned the custody order. He allowed me to have visitation on the weekends, and we would come back at a later date and review what was going to happen. It took an entire summer, my children away from me. It was all it took was a phone call and a lie. And there were no repercussions for my ex for that, which is why I'm suing the RCMP, because they were negligent. They have the evidence of the public mischief and her failure to comply with a court order for custody and access, Section 282 of the Criminal Code, failure to comply with a court order, Section 127 of the Criminal Code. They have all this evidence documented, and I have it documented. And they've still done nothing. It's more like they're protecting her. So I've got complaints in with Civilian Rear Complaints Council against a number of the officers. And as you can imagine, I'm getting the runaround there. Nobody's doing anything. You only have so much time to appeal any investigation they do. And one of the investigations they conducted, they didn't send me their report until after the time period in which I could appeal. So when I went to appeal, they said, well, you can't, you're past the time date. I said, well, I just received these from Purelator. Purelator's got the dates on it here of when it was picked up by the RCMP, which was months after the reports were written, after the 60-day period, and I didn't get them till much after that. So it's 60 days from when I received them. So when I made the request to review the case, the file, and the and Complaints Commission agreed that I didn't have the report for 60 days, and it didn't meet the criteria. Also, the investigator who took a year, Tamara Patterson, who took a year to conduct this investigation. I don't know what information she used to conduct the information because she never contacted me during that 1 year period. All communications with her I have saved via phone and email. There's only a couple of calls with her and a few emails exchanged. And I don't know how she could have conducted information because she did not get any information about me from the case during those short communications. Again, phone calls and emails I have all documented. So they're not following their own proper procedures for conducting investigations. What they're doing is trying to sweep this under the rug because their officers screwed up. And their officers have been screwing up for years because this all started back in 2015. We are now in 2021 and it's still ongoing. And it's going to continue to go on for years until they realize what the problem is. Now they know what the problem is. They don't want to do anything about it. They're hoping that I'm just going to go away. But I've lost my entire life savings. I lost the home that I told my children I'd keep for as long as they ever wanted to live there. The courts have interfered with me getting money from the sale of that home, which basically left me homeless for a year, where my ex continually made applications to become primary caregiver of the children because I didn't have a fixed residence in the children's school zone. I was staying in the children's school zone at a friend's house. They stayed with me. I was fortunate enough to have a friend kind enough to take me and my children in, so I didn't lose custody of them. I bought an abandoned home in the children's school zone that took me a year and a half to renovate. I had to gut it and renovate it right back to bare studs. I had to get an electrician to wire the whole house, new roof, new windows, new doors, new gyprock, new flooring, new insulation. I had to do all that, get it livable in just a very short amount of time. And I did. So I guess I'm going on about myself tonight, but part of that is how I got here, which I'm going to be covering in the documentary. Not just me, how other people got here, because I've got a number of other people that I've interviewed, I've gone to court with, tried to because of the COVID. I've got their court files. There's so much that I have that I want to get it out there for everyone to see, to open everyone's eyes to how the system is, and we need to come together and to make changes happen to serve the people. Right now, the only people being served throughout this process are everyone that works at the court. They're all getting rich. They're all getting rich. And they're controlling the outcomes by the lawyers. The lawyers don't fight for their clients. The lawyers just do as they're told. The judges make their decisions. And there is great leniency for these judges to make their decisions. And they're not making decisions based on the evidence. They're making it on their opinions and thoughts. And their generation or two or three behind our current generation, and that generation and just this generation are not the same and cannot be treated the same without being discriminatory. That's these are a couple of the issues I hope to show. Like I said, in the court cases, there's many people going to court. They've they've provided me with the court documents to show the same problems that I've had going through my court case. And I'm not gonna be able to make just one documentary. I've got so much information. People keep coming to me with more. People from the United States want me to go there and do movies or documentaries about their case that they've been fighting for years. And fortunately, I've managed to make many contacts with many large groups in the parental alienation world on Facebook. Um, so I'm hoping to get my documentary out there, and I believe it will be a good example of not just North America, United States and Canada, but Oric Robertson is doing a documentary in South Africa. There's other documentaries being made in different countries, Europe. That's this is happening all over the world. People need to recognize this because they're 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 letting down an entire generation of children by not recognizing the abuse they're suffering through the family courts and through family court process. That needs to change. We need to change. We need to do better. We need to do better for everyone, the parents, the children, extended parents, extended family, cousins, relatives, grandmothers. One whole side of family usually doesn't get to see their grandchild or cousin or child because of vindictive ex, a person with a personality disorder that needs to control everything and drives the situation. So we need we need people in positions such as judges and lawyers who can recognize these behaviors and put stricter rules in with accountability for failure to follow the rules instead of just saying the police showing up and saying make your applications to court and everyone walks away, nothing's been resolved. It's not a clear message to be sending to two parties that are at war. So I think I've rambled on enough for tonight. I hope to be able to provide you with more information about my lawsuits. Maybe I'll break them down and make up a different file for each one and talk about that and the information I have and start sharing some of the files I have for each of these lawsuits. And eventually it's all going to be coming out. I'm going to be sharing it one way or the other, either through the court or through YouTube or through the network of parental alienation groups around the world that I'm connected with. So I want people to see you can fight this and you can make a difference and you can try to help people and you can help yourself. And I'm going to try to put out more videos on the things that I've done that have helped me and helped me move forward in my endeavors because I opened the lawsuit against the St. John Police Department on March, I believe it was March 1st, 2018, by myself. I filed a notice of action, a statement of claim. It was enough to get the file started. I ended up hiring a lawyer who is now the attorney of record for that case. Again, that was back in 2018. And I just sent him a message the other day asking for an update to see how the case was going. An affidavit of documents has already been served to the other party, and I'm still waiting to see that. That affidavit of documents was served to them back in 2018. Still haven't gotten it. This is 2021. So again, hopefully I'll have some new developments in that case, and I'll be able to take some time to talk about my other cases and maybe even do a screenshot where I am actually filling out some of the documents that I need to file for my cases, so others may be able to see that it's not that hard. I'm not a lawyer. Um, I took computer science in university. I can learn, I can read the laws, the rules of court, and I can fill out these forms. I can speak intelligently, learn what is relevant and what is not relevant in these matters, and present it. So if I can do it, you can do it. It's not that hard. You just need to be able to do stuff like this. This is tremendously traumatizing because you've already been traumatized by people close to you. Now you're going into the system where you think you're going to get help, and they further traumatize you. So it makes it very, very hard to move forward. So self care is very important. You have to look after yourself so you have the strength to keep taking this abuse by the system, by the police, by the crown, by the judges, by everyone involved, and continue to move forward. Because if you stop, it's all over and it's for nothing. And I tried doing that for a while, and it led to me losing my children. And I'm never going to let that happen again. All it took was a phone call and a lie on a Monday afternoon, and by Friday, I lost them. Lost them. So I'm not stopping ever, ever, because it's just that easy for me to lose them. And for others in your situation, they're in similar situations. I want to put a lot more videos out there and show you how to fight this. Show you the different links to find the public legal education and information system. Each province has one, and they show you what court documents you need to file what motion or application, and you can do this on your own. You really can, and it's not going to cost you your life savings like it has me. You do this on your own, you might still have some money and not be broke and homeless. But rebuilding my home. I got this nice computer for my daughter for Christmas, and she started her own YouTube channel, so I'm learning from her. I am. I don't think I look as good or do as good as her with these videos, but I'm trying to get information out to people. I'm trying to do it because I care, because I needed help, and there was a couple people there who were strangers who took the time to respond to me and provide me with the information and the encouragement I needed to build my life back again. And if I can do that for anyone else, I'll be happy to do that. I respond to everyone who contacts me, and I offer as much support and help as I can. And if I can't provide that, I'll try to refer you to someone else who can provide what you need. So I'll I'll cut my little chat. I wouldn't say short tonight. I ran for a half hour, rambled on. But yes, hopefully I'll have more. Hopefully I'll have more information regarding my legal cases that are currently going on and the new applications I plan on making to deal with everything else that's going on. And I hope to be able to have a little screen here or up here to show the screen what I'm working at and make my picture nice and small. Make a little picture here down here in the corner. I'll make the rest of the screen the forms that need to fill out and how to fill them out. Try to show people what I'm doing for my case so they can see that they can do it too. Um, I'd like to say stay strong to everybody that's out there struggling. I'm still working on the documentary. The COVID has been very difficult and it's kept me from getting further ahead, but I'm still working. I've got almost all the footage I need to put this project together, and I'm looking forward to getting it done and sharing it with the world. Remember, everybody, you're not alone. There are people out there who know exactly what you're going through, and you need to listen to them because they've been through it, and they're not going to offer you up suggestions like your friends to say, oh, things will get changed. The kids will come back to you when they get older. This is all going to go away. This is going to blow over. If you do nothing, it will just clear itself up. None of that's true. If you're dealing with a person that's got a personality disorder, they're not going to stop because they have a disorder and they're always going to continue to behave in the same manner. So you need to recognize the situation you're dealing with and then what you need to do to properly treat the situation. You're going to need help. So reach out, ask questions, ask other people who have gone through this. That's where I learned my information. That's why I'm doing this now. I'm trying to help other people the way I was, trying to pick out the people with are struggling. They don't know what's going on, and they can't believe how they're being treated by the system. I know how they get treated that way. I know the process. I recognize it. I've studied it. It's been almost 6 years for me. This is all going to come out in a documentary to show how everyone's involved and everyone has their part in keeping this going. Enough ranting. Again, Bill Edgett, Grand Bay, Westfield, New Brunswick, Canada. I am here. You need someone to listen to, someone to talk to, someone to ask questions. Come to my page, Parental Alienation Worldwide Support Group. And there we have a number of pages across US and a couple in Canada. So feel free to message me. I'm one of the admins, and you can reach me at any one of those pages. Take care, and remember, you are not alone.